everybody. This is Mike Balzano, publisher of Restoration and Remediation, R&R, and the Experience events. And welcome to episode 8. I can't believe it already. Episode 8 of Trade Talks, Unlocking the Experience. Our guest today is a business owner. She's actually a second-generation business owner, award-winning rug care instructor, founder of the Textile Pro Network. She's a blogger. She's a video shooter. That's a word. She's a leader, a speaker. She's been featured on the Today Show and in the New York Times, Real Simple, Family Circle, HGTV Magazine, Realtor.com, so many more places. She is she's the 2022 Industry Icon Award winner, which was awarded right at our wonderful experience show a couple years ago. She's the Rug Chick. Please welcome Lisa Wagner.
Yay!
Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you.
Thanks for joining me. I'm glad you have your rug background because that's your brand. This is what you do.
Like I said before, I was trying to change it to just be my office, but we're gonna go with it.
I usually we got a little rotation on this video show that we'll talk about all your background and swerve into the experience. But I want to start with how we met, which was great. I mean, you've been doing this for such a long time, and our mutual friend Anissa Coy brought me over to you at the experience in Las Vegas. Said, "There's somebody you got to meet." And I was so glad I did because I'll let you get off on this tangent. Yeah, we took over the events. As you know, we're restoration and remediation. We're not restoration, remediation, and cleaning. And I needed some help. I need some experts. And man, you're a godsend. You and Mark at the same time. So that's not really a question. It's just a comment. But
right. No, I enjoyed meeting up with you and getting to see what was even happening because I didn't know a lot of what was going behind the scenes. But I really have enjoyed the process so far of us working together and building something for the industry. So I didn't know what kind of path you want to go down with that, but it's been I have enjoyed collaborating, and especially with the great group of advisors you've pulled together for this event coming up.
Yeah, I mean, by the time this video lands, as they say, or drops, the advisory committee will be out. I mean, Barry Costa and you and Anissa, of course, and Mr. Bissayon and Lisa Lavender is joining us now. It's a good team. So I feel really confident, and hopefully the people will as well, that we're going to put on some good events for them that get to benefit. But you were the first key of that, and I owe you a lot. I always say that Anissa is a made woman with our brand. You know, and you might be too. You can do whatever you want. You got the ring, and you're in. We'll see. But
well, I know Mark and I have really been enjoying all of it, and we're looking forward to working more with the advisory council.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're just getting started, so this is good. Now, let's start from your background, and I went onto your website to rugchick.com. Did a lot. I'm learning so much with this event, just about these great people like yourself. First sentence: I grew up in a rug family. That just immediately caught my attention. And now you started working with Blatchfords, right, with your mom. Mm-hmm. And when did that all happen? Go ahead.
Well, when I was, a child, a tot. So my parents, my dad was a rug merchant, so he sold antique rugs. My mom is a weaver, and so we had a rug gallery. So I came into the cleaning industry kind of from the retail side, the rug side. And eventually our businesses split up into a gallery that was retail, and then just the cleaning and repair side, which was my mom. And so that's the business that my mom and I have taken when I got old enough to realize that I wasn't supposed to be free labor, because when you have kids in the family, it's out there scrubbing rugs because it's fun, until you realize that, oh, hey, I should be making something from this.
Well, exactly. It's hard. And at some point, though, as situations like that happen, okay, I'm gonna help my mom. This is great, but you had to make a decision. Do I keep doing this, or do I go do something else? And you stayed. What was the draw for you?
Well, and in the cleaning industry specifically, I mean, it's kind of an accidental industry. There aren't too many people that are born and decide when they're young, I'm going to grow up and be in the cleaning industry, or even restoration for that matter. Yeah. So it's kind of life puts you on a path where you end up. We've had discussions about this with different groups of of our peers and trying to find their origin stories, and it's always kind of something out of the blue. And with my father, who's in the rug merchant side, that was through a college job that led to something that led to rugs and got into it. And with my mom, it was, being real handy and crafty, and then getting married to a rug merchant and learning rugs and getting into that. And then for me, being born into it, my brothers as well. And then my parents got divorced when I was in college. And at that point, the businesses split, retail and the service side, which was a very small little service side. And my mom was like, she didn't want any alimony. She just wanted to have the ability to make her own living. And so she just wanted that little, I think we were making like $3,000 a month at that time or something like that. It's like most of it went to rent. And it was just a small little workshop doing rugs that were from clients that had bought rugs from us from our gallery. And so at that time with college, I mean, you're right, I was on a completely different path. I always connected to rugs, but I had getting a couple degrees in college. I was going to become a lawyer. I was going to get into international business. I had a degree in Russian and Soviet studies and international relations, and a minor in Russian lit. And, I was heading off to a different avenue, but family was important, and helping my mom was important. And so I decided to stay back. And I mean, in retrospect, it was one of those decisions that was the best one that I ever could have made. I'm so grateful for it. At the time, it was just like, you hunker in, you help the family. So we're not a tiny little business anymore. We're
Right.
sizable. And it has opened up a world of opportunities. So that's my long answer to how I stuck out in it.
That's
So
fascinating. Do you have a Russian background or just an interest in that?
I was just, I in high school in the 80s, it was Reagan and Gorbachev
Yeah.
and all that. And I'd met some the woman who we had bought our rug gallery from. She had a Russian background, and she came once to our high school and shared stories about when she was young and escaping during World War II. And it was just that big, mysterious, at the time, it looked like such a big opportunity, this huge country that was in the throes of opening up. And I traveled over there and took some classes over there after it opened up when I was in college. But it just looked like it was gonna be someplace where there would be a lot of opportunities. And interestingly enough, in the rug business, I had a lot of clients who were lawyers and in those fields who were telling me, don't do it. don't it's all going to come apart. Don't, and they were advising me against anchoring myself into that specifically. But so I have a lot of interesting background, and probably, like a lot of people, degrees that you didn't actually put into your career, but broadens, it's kind of like getting certified at a whole bunch of different services. You have a wider idea of what's going on without it being your specific trade. So
No, that makes sense. I always forget we're roughly the same age. So yeah, I remember back then that was a big deal. They're democratized Russia, and a lot of people did make a lot of money. Then the oligarchs kind of came in. But anyway, I'm taking on a bad road. Sorry.
I'm oligarch.
The oligarch. No oligarch conversations on this show. That's my number one rule. Now I've been in B2B media since '97, a long time. And I remember the start of when it was called custom media, the special stuff. Then eventually my good friend of mine was one of the first people to say the words content marketing and this and that. And you adapted early on to your website and your blog, rugchick.com, which that really, with my background, that doesn't really interested me. Wow, what made her take that leap? That's cool. When did you start that website and the blog?
Oh, geez. It was shortly after WordPress came out.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it started as a blog, it started out as a WordPress blog. And, back in that day, I don't know how many people are going to remember that, but I mean, there was really no social media and internet like we have now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of message boards and a lot of written word, and not so much a lot of video and graphics, because those capabilities weren't really there yet. So, in fact, I was trying to rack my brain of like the history of these past 3 decades, trying to figure out where we've come as an industry. And I remember, because ICS magazine was connected to
Mm-hmm.
BMG Media, and I
Yep.
remember that was one of the like big boards that the cleaners were on all the time. The ICS board was, where everything was happening. um, but yeah, so I started as a blog, and for just rug information for the industry. And probably it's probably been about 21 years, 22 years, maybe,
That's
because I
great.
think, yeah. So it started out that I did some blogs on some other stuff. I was trying to shake up some industry politics and some stuff that I was trying to get press for, and just playing around with the new technology. And so started with the rug side more for the industry, for other cleaners. Um, I joined a trade association that was a carpet cleaning trade association locally, CFI, Carpet and Fabric Care Institute. Through, I had a supplier who kept telling me, you need to join this group, you need to join this group. And I'm like, they do carpet cleaning. They are cleaning in the homes. That's
Mm-hmm.
not we wash rugs. We're not, I'm in the rug world. That's the home and carpet world. There wasn't any crossover at that time. And through that group, I started getting cleaners who would bring me in rugs that they had cleaned on their own, and things had gone horribly wrong. And I was trying to figure out, how are they ruining these rugs? How is this possible? These rugs last forever, and all this stuff is going, crazy colors, and the dye's bleeding, and crunchiness. And I'm like, what are they doing? And I couldn't get clear answer from anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, well, I'm going to get certified in carpet cleaning, and I'm going to learn what they're teaching, so that I can deconstruct how to fix the problems that are being caused by the local cleaners in my market. So that's how I plugged into the associations, and then started sharing what I knew to try to adjust and try to prevent what was happening. And just open with sharing. And it was a fabulous group, CFI, and it still is. It's still around and has lots of people plugged into it. Has a great history. But that was my first educational opportunity. The blog was an extension of that, trying to highlight the most common problems and try to prevent them. So it was targeted to the industry. It became a place where consumers stumbled across it. And then I started getting people that knew nothing about professional cleaning.
Right.
And so then I started to change the focus, and realizing that people that owned rugs had no idea how to take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was where the marketing opportunity was.
Well, after in the months I've known you, it's amazing how the levels and the depth of this whole industry are. I mean, you think about carpet cleaning, rug cleaning. No, there's about 27 different types of this, and rugs and fabrics and things like that. It's just fascinating. And on a marketing level too. I mean, from what you said, I think that it's always I'm fascinated when people start their websites, their blogs, and right before they kind of give up, all of a sudden these people just show up. And like, where'd they all come from? It's kind of a cool thing, and clearly that happened with you. I mean, you have all kind of people following you now, and that's lovely.
Yeah, well, and I mean, originally it was doing a lot of topics to try to leverage my time because a lot of one-on-one help, tech help, getting on the phone with people, and trying to do that. I had a business to run. It's like I
Right.
got customers, we got
Yeah.
rugs to get out of there. Can't be doing free advice over the phone, no matter how much I want to help. And so I saw it as an opportunity to, okay, let's make it as clear as possible. Let's get it online, and I can just send them there. I'm still helping them. I'm just
Mhm.
sending them. It's free. They didn't even have to opt in. And, it was, just, there was no paywall. So, and there's still no paywall on Rug Chick, but, um, so that was where it came from. Then it morphed into so many consumers coming onto the site where it just keeps multiplying, and it'll, continue to do so. In this year, we've got some big changes coming to the site.
Very good. Looking forward to it. And, so you started the blog, you started the website, it kept going and going and going and morphing into different things. And something you started a few years ago, I think is great. I love the background story of this, was when you started doing the Cool Rug Friday.
Yeah.
On Facebook every week and things like that. And what was how did that start for you? The thought behind it?
Well, I guess, I mean, it came out of the pandemic. So,
Mhm.
when things happened with COVID, and all the states were locking down, and that shows were getting canceled, the experience was getting canceled, and in California especially, it's like we couldn't run anything, and there was a lot of fear and uncertainty, and we were hunkering in to try to, figure out, how are we going to take care of our team, how are we going to take care of our clients, how are we going to take care
Yeah.
of our business, just like 24/7. I was Whatever I was learning for my own company, I was just sharing with the industry. And so I remember at some point that summer in 2020, I put out this 25-page report to just like out to the cleaning industry of, you need an example of how to post up your protocols for how you're handling things in your business. You need examples for how to handle things when someone on your team is sick. Do you need education on learning about how to keep things, clean? We weren't even sure how people were getting sick. Anything I was learning, I was putting into one big like financial help. And just every time I discovered something new, I put it into that report and then just send it out to everybody, and just trying to help people get through it like I was getting through it. And
Wow.
by the end of that summer, I mean, it was just such a down, dark time. And Cool Rug Friday was, I was like, I have to find something to just close off all the doom and gloom and find some bright light somewhere that gives, a little glimpse that things are going to be okay. And, people weren't coming into our facility because, the people weren't leaving their homes. And so I just started looking at the rugs in our shop. We have a big facility in San Diego, and just finding rugs that were around and saying, hey, this one's really cool. What do I like about this rug? And
Yeah.
I just start taking pictures, and just talking about it, and just started posting, and decided, you know what, I'm going to do this every Friday. I'm just going to
Hmm.
call it Cool Rug Friday. I'm sharing it with all my rug friends and my cleaning friends and my restorer friends. And every Friday I'm just gonna post it. And it was a personal way to start a habit for myself that
Hmm.
reminded me to find something good to put my energy into. And it's been going on now for 3.5 years. It was a personal, my way of just share something that would be, like handing somebody a little gift and saying you're cool. Um, and the feedback that I've gotten from people, and the enjoyment, and the things that I've learned from people that knew more about the rugs than I did, has been a real gift. And it's kind of gotten its own momentum now. And so I'm excited that the next phase of that is going to be, we're going to move it on to Rug Chick, and we're going to start sharing that with consumers, and actually try to see if we can get a wider audience really into the rugs that, have soul in them, that are truly art, rather than all of this commodity garbage that is coming out and being sold now. So that's the cool rug story.
It's a great story. I'm kind of a content marketing nerd. I don't know if you picked up on that in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You hit all the key points. You built your audience with like-minded people. The right people took your time doing it. Had the content going out, and this new thing, well, it was new, the Cool Rug Friday. Consistency is the key. I try to tell all of our contributors of R&R that if you want to do once a month, great, but you got to do it at same time every time. And that's when people realize I'm always looking for your post every Friday, that it's coming. If it comes now, I decided to do it Monday this week, it would lose something. And I think you're all over this. You're really good at this. That's great.
Yeah, cool rugs out, slash it out, put Monday. Well, and you got to build a team around it. So because these can get complicated. So I have my brother is the photographer now, and he takes the photos for me. We go through and we go, okay, this is a cool rug, and then we talk about it and kind of say what kind of angles, and he gets them all ready for me, which is great. And then Mark is my tech side. So Mark Kennedy, my partner. So he'll lay that out so that it gets sent out, because otherwise it would just be on a huge drive at my house with no technical channel to the world. So
Mark Kennedy, by the way, I've never been able to do this before. He's going to be our guest next week on this event. So there you go, a little preview. So, and both Mark and Lisa are going to have big roles in the experience coming up. The next event's going to be April 3rd through the 5th at the Chattanooga Convention Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Early bird rates end next week, a week from today, a week from when this airs on the 31st of this month. So if you're coming to the event, if you want to save a few bucks, just sign up. Why not? We always want to have a few more bucks in our pocket, right? When you have had to been to a million experiences, even before it was called the experience, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, well, actually, with the trade association that I belong to, CFI, we were one of the 3 trade associations that started connections.
Yep.
So it used to be there were 12 trade associations in the cleaning industry that had their own conventions, their own trade shows. And we were one of the bigger shows, because, California, Arizona, Nevada.
Right.
And so we used to have really successful conventions that were a lot of fun. But the exhibitors having to go to 12 different shows every year, some very small, some big, but that's a lot of, so we ended up starting the conversation about having, couldn't we have a collaborative show in a place like Vegas that would be easier for everyone to get to?
Right.
And kind of, the ones that weren't making money on their shows and the ones that were, maybe we could, make it a win-win. So, so I was involved with the, I think I was president at that time of the association, but we, the trade associations work great together. And so that was a good opportunity. However, when you have so many cooks in the kitchen, it ends up, sometimes work by committee can, especially when it's work by committee with a lot of owner operators.
Yeah.
And I'll put myself I'm not an owner operator, but I'm an owner. But with a team, but sometimes, I'd like to hold the reins a little tightly. So we have a lot of people thinking they got the right idea. It can be hard to facilitate teamwork. So anyway, wonderful people that was a really good show. It morphed into what became experience.
Gotcha. Yeah. And fast forward to today, you got a lot of experience, lack of a better word, at the experience. And we're working together on the cleaning end of things and more than that. And you, me and Mark, and one of the first things you did was suggest we change the name of the cleaning track.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things going on right now, and that are relevant to the cleaning industry. And one is the economic, because things are happening economically where, are we going to have a recession? Or are we not? I don't know. And everyone's in the, traditionally, I mean, now that we've been around long enough to see several recessions,
Yeah.
we can see that, during that time, the cleaning companies that are focused on the better parts of the market, the higher end sections of the market, actually do really well in a recession, because instead of purchasing new everything, usually they're refurbishing or taking care of high quality things they already own.
Right.
Whereas in the lower parts of the market, usually the items that are being purchased are more disposable, and so you're having to always replace. So you have a segment of the market that is just hesitant to do the service at all, because they were already hesitant at hiring professional cleaners anyway. So recession's something we all need to be thinking about, and just be aware of, and prepare for. The other is an election, and in election years, at least in our experience of the data that we see, that's hard on the service sector, the home service sector, because again, there's uncertainty.
Yeah.
So there's distractions, and what's going to happen, what's not. Business owners get a little hesitant, and a lot of business owners tend to be our customers as well. So there's angst, and angst is not necessarily good for the economy. So for this track, what we were in talking with Mark and talking with the other presenters, there's an importance here to try to see if we can come out and give some technical and people skills and marketing and growth education to take people that are in this industry and be able to kind of up the level of the service they're providing and the people that they're reaching, and see if we can give them the quality of skills and insight that is going to help them up their game with their companies. We're looking to attract people that really are wanting to be specialists in their field, regardless of whether it's hard surface, soft surface, and get their ducks in a row so that this is not going to be an issue for them at all. Because in these times, usually what happens is that there's segments of the industry that fall off during this time, and they're going to go out of business, which means there's more of the pie that is left there for the companies that are strong and can take that on. So the cleaners in whatever field they're in that are specialists and are experts are going to be able to attract that business and be okay. So we're wanting to teach the skills that help them to grow and go beyond this, so that the economy or the election becomes irrelevant ultimately to their operations.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's right. And we're going to get a recession at some point. I mean, it seems a lot of people are kind of rooting for it for those 3 years. I mean, eventually it's going to happen. You're just going to keep plugging. And I love your attitude about it. And you're right. And when an election year, people they get oddly not politically conservative, but it's conservative about spending money and doing anything. And but it's going to be,
that's just
it's going to be the cleaning, the cleaning expert track, right?
yeah. Well, and
Specialist, excuse me, cleaning specialist, pardon me.
what I've always appreciated about, or what I've noticed from the experience shows are great. It's always great. You get all these people together and shared interests and shared industries. The East Coast show, we've found it's a bit smaller, but it tends to attract in the cleaning industry specifically, the people that are more serious about wanting to learn. So, as a presenter, and Mark and I have presented over the past 5 years at Experience, what we notice is that the caliber of the people that come to the East Coast show are a higher caliber. So this should be a great alignment for, those cleaners who are looking for, they've been in the business for a while, or maybe they're brand new, but they're wanting to know, how do I get in and get, that stronger, that better part of the market. So, we've got great presenters that are bringing content to this. Jim Pemberton is the keynote. He's going to give a really great presentation on the impact of pets in all aspects of cleaning. Mark Violand is on the program. He is like a superpower of inspection. So many certifications and so much inspection experience. And he's going to be showing, hard surface and soft surface, what are the big claims dangers and some of the flooring issues that, some are getting blamed on cleaners, things we need to spot. There's going to be a lot of, I know we're going to have more details coming out on the different segments, but it's rug, fabric, carpet, hard and soft surfaces, education on how to know what's the stuff coming out today, what's the stuff that is going to cause lots of problems, where are the opportunities to be the solution provider for those problems, and how to price yourself accordingly and get the positioning in your market so that you are the go-to person for anybody that's got a home that they want to have taken care of. So that's the goal of this program.
You did a heck of a job, you and Mark, along with us, but really you and Mark, setting up the agenda and getting these great speakers to come. So I'm in your debt. I'm forever in your debt, Felix. I think this is going to be great. I think it's going to be a great event, and led by the cleaning sector. Our restoration people are going to be well taken care of. They know that. But this is what was keeping me up at night a little bit. And you guys came in on the white horse, man, and took care of it. I love it. So
I'm excited because I think that the people that it's going to bring in are the kind of people I want to hang out with. So, right. In all aspects of cleaning. So I'm jazzed about it.
It's going to happen on April 3rd through the 5th. Please make plans to attend the experience those dates in lovely Chattanooga, Tennessee. You can register through our website, randrmagonline.com. Early bird registration rates are available through January 31st, which is a week from today. You can find this and all R&R videos and podcasts on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Please follow us if you haven't already, and feel free to leave a quick review. We'd love to hear from you. Also, please follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And very special thank you. Really, I mean this, it's a very special thank you to our guest, the Rug Chick herself, Lisa Wagner. This is great. My pleasure. This is Trade Talks, Unlocking the Experience. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next week.